Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman. Illustrated by Gretchen. There's Gretchen's last name. So if you want to find those people or their stuff, that's how you do it with that information. Already shuffled. Sagittarius. Okay. And that's interesting. I don't know why we cut the deck, but there you go. All right. So Sagittarius. Going into this, you got growth. So growth with Sagittarius, like, you tend to make things happen anyway. I just think that's a stereotypical way of looking at Sagittarius, but you tend to make things happen is the normal energy there. And you're trying to improve things. It's almost like you're evaluating something and like, well, okay, but you're kind of like actively moving forward and evaluating at the same time. It's almost like, you know, if there's a process or a paper you're working on and you're kind of writing it, but then kind of auditing it, like editing it at the same time as writing it. You're going back and forth, like editing it and auditing it. It's kind of like that type of feel. Whatever you're working on, it's almost like if you're building something outside, you're like putting up the shed and then also like fixing this, but then moving forward and fixing that, but then moving forward. It seems like the growth is kind of split a little bit for some reason. There's a lot going on. I feel like I say that every time I do a Sagittarius video. I feel like there's always something going on. It's not bad. I'm not feeling anything bad here. But I'm also getting like, some of this feels counterproductive. You got the Five of Swords here kind of saying like, I think I'm getting ahead, but am I getting ahead? For every step forward, do I take a step back? Like, I don't know if I'm actually moving forward or if I'm just changing my scenery. You're questioning if you're actually making any difference here. Am I just perpetuating the same? It's like for everything you fix, something else needs to be fixed. Every step forward, you got to fix something else. You're starting to question, like, are we growing? I feel like you're questioning it a little bit. This isn't bad, but it feels like it's reversed. I feel like there's somebody's like throwing things off of balance. This is why, like, whatever you're working on, I know I gave the shed and some other things as a simple analogy, but somebody's like working against you. I'm getting that with balance reversed, and I don't like to be like that, but I really do feel like somebody's working against you. Every time you make progress, somebody else doesn't want you getting credit for it, so they throw something else out of balance to like distract you. I almost feel like you got to be careful here too. That somebody might be trying to take credit for your advances or your movement forward. I feel like you got to be careful. Be careful somebody isn't taking credit for something that you're doing. The balance reversed is kind of like, it may be hard to get a hold of that. That may be a slippery task. I mean, the best way I feel to not let somebody else get credit for something you're doing is to like make sure you're giving yourself credit. Make sure you're letting other people know what you're doing. And then if they question, like, oh, I thought so-and-so did that, you're going to be like, no, I did that. Thank you. No, I did. It was me. The balance, like, this is somebody working against you. Like, somebody's being a pain in the ass here. Which is really weird because they're seeming like they're on the same page. This is somebody you're very connected to. Like, how are you connected to this? I feel like it did come in like face down, just to be fair. But I'm getting like, this may not be somebody that you're currently close to. Are you or not? It's kind of weird for me. Because I'm feeling like this is somebody who wants to be close to you, but I feel like they're using it against you. Like somebody's close to you, but using your work against you. And they're trying to take credit for things that they're not theirs. I almost feel like they're pointing out faults here too, a little bit. And it's making you wonder, like, oh, yeah, well, I guess I didn't do that as well as I should have. I mean, yeah, I guess they're right about that. You're trying to be, like, on the level about it. You're just trying to be like, oh yeah, I want to be realistic about it. I don't want to be like, I did everything, but like somebody's trying to put in self-doubt there. When I'm feeling the self-doubt, it says self-worth, but I'm feeling self-doubt. As if you didn't do as much as you actually did. They're trying to make you feel like, no, I did some of that. Like, I deserve some credit. And you're like, well, I mean, I guess you did do some of it. Meanwhile, you're the reason that actually got done. They just kind of coattailed it, but whatever. It keeps coming forward, and I'm not seeing you wanting to argue with this person. You got the Ace of Cups with the Fool card? Yep, the Fool card. There's the Fool card. In the noisy phone. I must have put it in the wrong spot. You're not arguing with this person, but I feel like they're messing with you. I really do. See, they're not helping you, but they're coming off on the outside as if they are. Because I'm getting this Emperor energy is how they're coming off. Like, they're helpful, they're directing, they're in control. You do this, you do that. For a lot of you, I feel like this is going to be a work situation. In truth, the creativity and service are reversed. They're not being very creative at the moment, and they're not really helping you. They're trying to get you to do the work for them. But they're making it, I feel like it's a smoke and mirrors act here. Like, you do that, I'll do this. Meanwhile, something over here, there's nearly nothing for them to do. You're the one with all the creativity and doing everything. And they're just kind of like acting like they're the ones who are really in control, and they're pulling creativity from other sources is what I'm also getting. Like, they might have ideas, but they're getting these ideas from somebody else. They're just furthering somebody else's idea. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm starting to feel a little bit pessimistic about this part, because this person, I don't really like this energy. Let's just keep going. Because you do get, that's the weird thing, you get along with this person. To your face, they're nice enough, especially when you're making them look good. A lot of you, I think this is a work thing, I really do. Be careful. Be careful is what I'm getting. I don't think you want to see this person as a problem. Because if you see this person for what they are, it makes your life difficult. Because you're like, well, that's quite the mountain. That's something to deal with. You got perception on your side. I feel like you see the red flags. You're just choosing to not acknowledge them. Because I feel like for some of you, you're thinking about who this is, and you don't want it to be that person. But the red flags are there. The red flags are definitely there. Is this coming forward in a good way? That's reversed. I feel like a lot of you, this is for work. I really do. The wheel is coming forward. The wheel is coming forward, and I feel like there's a moment coming forward where this other person can't really... Whoever you're working with, they can't pull it together. You've been doing so much of this situation. You're the creativity. You're the one who's actually making this work. And they're playing it off as if it's them. And there's going to be a moment where you're not there. And they have to like answer, like, how did you get this? How did this? What are we going to do now? Well, you got it this far. How did you get here? They have no answers. Literally, you've been doing all the work. And they don't, and it's going to like, recovery reversed is telling me it's like one of those situations where there's some of it that you did that they don't even realize you did it. And they're having to like explain like, what's that there for? And they're like, they don't even, they supposedly did it. They're playing it off as if it's their work, but they have no answer for why this is there or why that's there. You could tell them because you would know because you did it. Oh boy. The recovery reversed, especially with the Princess of Pentacles, is telling me like they're digging themselves pretty deep. I'm feeling like they've made their own hole. They dug their own hole, and now that they're in it, they're just kind of like, they're kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck. What's coming in next? Let's see. We've got impatience, 5 of Cups. The situation that you're helping them with, that could have, the situation itself, there could be a big problem with that. You may not be able to help. This is a weird, weird moment. People want this to go right. People are looking for answers. But you're being left on the outside because this person doesn't want you to get credit. They don't want to be called out for like stealing somebody else's work. Something like that. So they're not letting you close to it. You can't seem to get close to it. You seem to know it's kind of falling apart because you're connected to this situation. But you're like, at the same time, there's nothing you can do about it. And you seem to be holding back. I'm very unhappy with it. All that work you put in, you're not getting credit for it, but now it seems to be going, it's like a shit show. It's going bad. The question is, will somebody else pull you in, is the question. That's what I'm wondering. Because you got impatience with the Five of Cups. People want answers, and people don't understand why the person who's taking the credit can't give the answers. You might have to... I feel like you don't want to be a part of this in a negative way. For some reason, it's like... I feel like a lot of you, it's a business thing again. You don't want to be pulled into it in a negative way. What this other person was doing is not your fault. You just did what you were supposed to do. And that's pretty much how that you were treating that. But you got the Princess of Wands coming in here at the end. I feel like you're just going to have to come forward in the sense of like, well, I can explain to you why I did this. I can explain to you why I did that. I don't even think they're going to be asking. I don't think there's going to be any questions about what you actually did. You're just going to be like giving the answers. Like, you want to know why that's there? Well, I put that there because of this. I put this here because of that. This is why this is happening like this. This is why this was going over here. And that's why I made that decision right there. You're just answering questions is what I'm getting. It does blow this person in, but you're not... I don't see you saying, well, that person didn't do anything. I don't see you doing that. I'm not feeling that energy. And for those of you who are considering it, I would say don't. Because the proof is in the pudding, and you proving what you've done. You don't have to say it. I almost feel like by you not saying it, it just makes you look kind of better. Kind of like, well, I did this and this, I did that, and I did this, and this is how I did this. You don't have to say that person didn't. You just have to say, this is what I did, and explain it. It works out in your favor. I just feel like you're avoiding this, but it's going to end up here anyway. You're going to have to explain why you made the certain choices. I feel like you don't want to point out that this person didn't do anything, but it's going to be obvious. There's no way around it. They're going to get kind of stuck around. They're going to get stuck. They're going to paint themselves in a corner. They already have. It's not your fault. I wouldn't feel guilty about it, that's for sure. I feel like you do feel a little bad about it for some reason. Because you got complacency here. But I'm feeling like you feel bad about it. Like, you know, you don't want this to be an issue. It's not your fault. That's all I'm getting. It's not your fault that they did that. That's where it's heading, though. And that's what this reading is about. So I guess that's where we're there. All right. Well, I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.